Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I truly deplore the way some colleagues have decided to politicize such a sensitive, urgent, and important issue. There are people in my community who are suffering, who lost their homes, yet they're still working hard to help their neighbors rebuild. And for them to find out that this institution would oppose a measure to help them because some colleagues think it's just not good enough. Now, you heard them. They recognize there's a lot of good in this package, but it's not enough. I am the representative of the district that was hit the hardest by Hurricane Irma. Chairman Brady was here. He has been working hard back home to help his community recover while managing his responsibilities here as chairman of the Ways and Means Committee. He is calling for passage of this legislation that he sponsored. Also putting their names on this legislation, Jennifer Gonzalez Colon, the representative elected by Puerto Ricans on the island to this chamber. She has added her name to this legislation. Also, Stacey Plaskett, a member of the minority who represents the Virgin Islands, she has added her name to the amendment to make this legislation even stronger. So the members representing the districts that were hit the hardest, where people are suffering, and the gentlewoman from New York is absolutely correct. The suffering in Puerto Rico cannot be compared to anything else that we're seeing here on the mainland. Their representative wants to see this legislation pass, but some of our colleagues say it's just not good enough. So, because this is not good enough for them, people should get nothing. We wonder why so many Americans don't trust this institution, why so many Americans are frustrated with the politics in this country. Because if it isn't perfect, if it isn't exactly what I want, then I'm against it. Now, fortunately, not all of the members of the minority agree with this. When we first had this vote on Monday, 26 Democrats voted in favor of the legislation, and I thank them. Not just from me, but on behalf of all of my constituents, the people of Florida Keys, South Florida, and of course, people of Texas, Louisiana, Puerto Rico, and U.S. Virgin Islands. I thank my Democratic colleagues and all of my Republican colleagues that supported this package. And I invite more members from both parties to support this package today, because this is not the time to play political games. Now, I understand some people here are frustrated about what may have happened in the past. I wasn't here, and I belong to a new generation of members of this institution, and quite frankly, I think none of us on either side are interested in relitigating the old fights and the old debates. We want to see the solutions for today and tomorrow. And the people of Florida, Monroe County, the Florida Keys, Miami-Dade, the people of Texas, Louisiana, U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, they need us now. They need this solution now. Can we do more later? Absolutely. And everyone knows that this chamber and the other will soon consider additional funding for FEMA, much-needed funding, and I will support a robust funding package for FEMA because the agency is strained and is working hard to help people all over this country and out in the Atlantic. But to say that this is not good enough, so instead we'll do nothing, is just unacceptable. I urge my colleagues to reconsider, because I think it's important that we send a message of national unity to help those who are hurting. And if we can do more in the future, we will and we should. So, Mr. Speaker, in closing, I would just thank all of my colleagues that understand how urgent this situation is, how much pain and suffering is being experienced in these communities, and I ask them respectfully to please support this legislation.